Started. So, talk to me very quickly. Help me understand why you chose to come to the class today. I want to make sure I can spend plenty of time going through a plan, but I want to make sure I stick to things that are most relevant to you guys. So, talk to me. Julian, what are you hoping to learn today?
Well, I think in this morning you said that for how to make a business plan for the next 3 months to succeed.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Marinelli, hello. Okay, so here's basically the way that I want to structure today. Okay, what I would like to do is help you focus on probably three different sections, if you will, and one kind of subsection. Okay, so the task that I want to help you with, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for one thing really fast, which is we want to build out a. Can you guys see the GPS, the blank GPS? Okay, so what we want to try to do here is to identify what is our primary goal, right? And what are the priorities that we have to be focused on, and the strategies within those priorities that we need to be focused on in order to make absolute certain that that goal happens. Okay, so I'm just going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that I think there's probably 3 things that you should focus on between now and the next 90 days. Okay, and I want this class to be very interactive. I'm going to build this sheet with you as we speak. Okay, but I want to make certain that we agree on the priorities. The one thing goal, in my opinion, should be one of 3 things. Okay, and you feel free to take yourself off mute. I want this to be interactive. Okay, I think it should either be closed business, right? Income that you'll earn between now and the end of the year. That's one. Another is how many families you're going to help, right? Between now and the end of the year. And I think that the probably the one that I would pick if I was in your shoes is how big can our pipeline get? Okay. Now, remember we talked a little bit about this idea of we're going to pretend like this is a whiteboard, okay? And what I want you guys to do is to visualize this, okay? This is a whiteboard. This is not your database, it's just a whiteboard. So it's gonna be very simple. We're gonna call this our pipeline tool, okay? On our pipeline tool, we simply have all of the names of the people that we believe that we will do business with in, let's just say, the next 12 months, okay? All the people that we believe we're gonna do business with in the next 12 months. And I want you to rank those people. So there's only gonna be 2 columns, 3 possibly. Name, number, just to make it super simple, and ranking, okay? These are the rankings that I want you guys to use. If you anticipate getting paid in the next, I'm gonna say 60 days from working with this person, they should be a 10. If you're gonna get paid anywhere between the next 60 and 120 days, they should be a 9. Anywhere between the next 120 and 180 days, they're going to be an 8. And 180 days to 365 days, they're going to be a 7. Okay? So we have 10s, 9s, 8s, and 7s on our list. Make sense? Now, this is something that I would like you to put in a visible spot so that multiple times a day you stare at this. Okay? This is essentially a list of the people that you will help buy or sell or invest in real estate, and therefore take the cash that you make home to your families. The longer this list and the more people with the higher rankings, the more likelihood you'll be to earn the type of money that we're seeking to earn. Is that fair to say? So if we focus on, I want to help 5 families buy or sell real estate between now and the end of the year, my fear is that we might try to push somebody when they may not want to be pushed, right? And that is also somewhat out of our control, okay? Whether they decide to buy or sell on our timeline, we have very little control over. Whether you build the relationship with them and there's the possibility that you might get paid in the future, we have all the control over that. Is that fair to say? Okay, so I'm going to encourage you to, let's talk about how many people can be on our pipeline. Okay, now if you look at your pipeline and there's 3 people on it and you have 1 8 and 2 7s, it's probably not going to be all that exciting, right? It's kind of going to be a bit depressing, right? What does that tell you? What that should tell you is there is virtually nothing more important than putting people on that list, right? So there's nothing more important, guys, than having a growing pipeline. Simple as that. Simple as that. Okay. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is come up with a number of the people that you would like to have on that pipeline between now and the end of the year. Okay. And the way that I'm going to encourage you to pick your number is as follows. I want you to take the number of properties that you would like to sell in a year. And if that number is less than 15, I want you to triple it. That's how many people you should have on your pipeline by the end of the year. If that number is, I'm going to say, actually, let's just whatever that number is, I want you to triple it. Let's keep it simple. So if you anticipate, Heather, let's say your goal is to sell 15 homes, I want 45 people on that list between now and the end of the year. Okay. Now, why do I say 45? Because they're not all going to buy on the timeline they say they're going to buy. Somebody's going to get COVID, somebody's going to have a family issue, somebody's going to pick a different agent, somebody's going to move, lose their job or get a different job or something like that. They're not all going to close. So I want you to have so many people on that list that you can barely keep it all straight. And the list is simply your way of keeping it straight. Oh, I thought you were a 7, you're actually a 10. Thank you. Right? Oh, I thought you were a 10. You just had you had a car accident and now you need to buy a new car. So now it sets you back 6 months and saving for the down payment. Okay, cool. You're a 7. Glad I know. Right? How does everyone feel about that goal? Does everyone feel that's a realistic goal? Now, what that does is it forces us to build relationships with our people. The deeper the relationships, the better. And it causes us to seek referrals, right? And it also causes us to add people to our database. There. So it kind of covers all the different angles. Is this exciting? Julian, it looks like you can barely contain yourself. Oh my God, look at this guy. Okay. All right. Now, what do we think the primary priorities we need to have in place are so that we're going to do triple the 12-month goal in people on our pipeline. Okay, so in order for that to happen, and this is, I'm just going to say by 12/20, by end of year. All right. What do we think that the priorities need to be in order to make sure that happens? I'm going to say it should be split into 3 sections. And you guys tell me. I haven't heard a single piece of noise from any of y'all. Y'all talk to me now. What are these 3 priorities? What should they be? No wrong answers.
Lead generation.
I have it broken out a little bit more, but that is generally speaking, Heather, whenever somebody at Keller Williams asks a question, lead generation is the best answer if you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how to grow my business. Lead gen. I don't know how to use DocuSign. Lead gen. Right. Good. Very good guess. Who else has some ideas?
So increase METs greatly.
Okay. That's kind of the somewhat of the sub. That's almost like the fourth one in my eyes, which is the growth of the database. Okay. What else? Spit them all out. No wrong answers.
Nurturing your SOI.
Okay. Even more broader than that.
Just doing follow-ups.
Yeah, those are all what I would call strategies of the big ones that I'm talking about. So you tell me if this is a good approach, okay? I'm just going to put them into three categories. The first one is sellers. The second one is buyers. And the third one is, I'm going to call it confidence building. Okay. So confidence building, and we'll call it slash education. Okay. So what I have in mind here is what are the 5 strategies that we need to be executing on so that we can have more conversations with future sellers every single day. What are some of those tasks that we can do? So the stuff like, SOI and expired listings and all that, that would be applicable here. So shout them all out.
Expireds for sell by owners.
Okay, what else?
Geo farming.
Geo farming. What's geo farming?
Geographic farming.
What's
particular
that?
neighborhood. Are marketing to a specific area or neighborhood.
Good. Okay, what else? How else can we get sellers? Let's think of some crazy ideas. What are you willing to do to get sellers? What about CMAs? What about discussions with people about refinancing? What else?
Keller Mortgage.
Keller Mortgage, how can that help them? How can that help them? Through the refinance, you mean? You're on mute.
It won't help us if they refinance. So.
Oh, yes, it will. If they refinance and you are the one that put that thought into their mind, then they think of you every time they pay less each month. And by the way, our job is to help our people build wealth and help them with their real estate needs and challenges and goals, regardless of whether we get paid or not. You'll get paid plenty of times. But if somebody calls me and says, hey, I heard it's a good time to do a refi, I send the lead to Kathy and the refi happens. And do I get paid? No. Have I solidified and continued that relationship with our seller? Absolutely. Could I say to the seller, hey, now that you're paying $300 less a month, maybe you can do me a favor. The average person knows 6 to 7 people moving each year. While I would love for you to introduce me to every single one of those, do you think that I could receive one? Do you think you can introduce me to one of those people? Can you do that for me? Now, if that person's a business owner or that person is a salesperson or whatever, you could say, I'm on the phone every single day with home buyers and home sellers. And it's very possible I'm talking to your ideal client multiple times a day. So who's your ideal client? How would I recognize that person? And how would you like me to introduce you to them when I speak to them? You think that's kind of powerful? Right? So you want to pair every time you're asking for something, you want to pair it with, and here's what's in it for you, right? I'm going to ask you for a favor, but I'm also going to offer you something too. Okay. So Keller Mortgage, I also think Keller Covered, right? Has anyone gone and called Keller Covered and see if they can give you a better quote on your homeowner's insurance? I would try that. Call them. Say, hey, I'm thinking about, I'm a realtor, I'm in Atlanta, and I'm obviously with Keller Williams, and I'd like for you to run the numbers on my particular home, and I'd like to see if you can help me save some cash. And by the way, if you can help me save some cash, then I got a story to tell, and I can post something on Facebook Live saying, hey, using one of our awesome vendor partners, Keller Covered, I just saved my family $400 a year on homeowners insurance. Would you like to speak with my representative? No fee, no obligation, just a simple offer to see if we can help you save money. We know money's tight for most people now. Everyone's looking for ways to save. I just saved my family $400 a year. How can I help you get savings as well? Right? Same discussion with refi. Have you refied your house, Julian? Okay. You're not still paying 4 or 5% or something, are you?
No, I think it's 3 something. It's pretty low.
Okay. Does anyone have a mortgage rate over 4 right now? Good. Start sharing that story. Hey, we just refinanced for saving $250 per month. Have you looked at that option? When you do something for somebody and they know you're not getting paid, it's even better. It means more to them. It's more meaningful. Okay. So what other systems can you commit to get yourself some additional sellers? Open houses? What else?
Surprise and delights.
Yeah. I like that. What else?
Events or business sponsoring.
I like that. Events, business sponsoring. Okay, what else?
Mailers.
Sure, mailers. What else?
Networking groups.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Networking. Okay. Oh, by the way, y'all, it's Lucy's birthday. You should send her a text or an email saying happy birthday, okay? I'm getting fed all day long. Mexican food, hot chocolate chip cookies, coffee. It's awesome. Well,
Hey, Bill, did she have COVID? Was she out sick or something?
about a month ago, she did, yes.
So she's doing well then.
Yep. Thank you for asking. She had a number of family members also, and those people have recovered. So
Great to hear.
yeah, everyone is okay. Okay. Let's move to buyers and see if we can come up with some fresh ideas here. So, David, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to build out our pipeline for the remainder of the year. And we're looking for people that are going to transact business with us over the next 12 months. And our goal is to come up with a number of properties that we want to sell over the next 12 months, triple that. And that's the number of people we want on our pipeline between now and the end of the year. So I believe that we need to separate our intentions in a couple different places. One is what tools and what systems are we going to use to find more sellers? What systems, and get super intentional about it, right? What systems are we going to put into place to find more buyers? And lastly, what systems and what kind of time commitment are we going to make so that we have the most confidence possible? Do you remember in the Dave Jinks video from last week, he talked about how the reason why a lot of agents don't make the phone calls is because they're essentially afraid of the appointment. They don't have enough confidence in their presentation skills and what they would do if they were fortunate enough to get the appointment, that they don't do the actions that they know they have to do to get the appointment. and they basically they've told themselves that if they choose not to do the actions, they won't get the appointment, and then they don't have to be afraid of botching the appointment. Now, how in the hell is that going to help them get a paycheck? It's not, right? So we've identified some seller-based strategies. Talk to me about buyers. What can we do to find more buyers right now?
Open house.
Okay. Well,
we can do the Facebook ads
okay.
for the, evaluate the house price, CMI.
Yep. You could probably do Facebook ads, and the topics there could be things like Keller Mortgage, or you could also do, you know,
Find out how much house you can afford.
right. That's good. How much can I afford? Great job. What else?
I believe so.
So what about looking for renters? Right. What if you went, I'm chatting with an agent now in our
Down
group that,
payment assistant.
what?
We can do the down payment assistant.
Yes. Great job.
New constructions.
Okay. So you can, you know, you can go to a different new construction community every day and grab the on-site agent and says, hey, I'm here. I want to make a short video, and you're going to talk about your community over the next 45 seconds while I video you. And you're going to talk about what happens when somebody buys before the end of the year, right? They get an extra $5,000 to use in the design center. They get a free year of HOA fees. I want you to talk about the incentives. Talk about what product you got, why somebody should choose to buy in that neighborhood, and why they need to buy today, or why they need to be or have a sense of urgency around it, right? And then you tag the community and you send it out to your Facebook world, right? And then everyone that follows that builder or whatever will see that you're doing some cross promotion. I just want you to get in the habit of doing stuff. Let's just get out there and be active, right? What else? Good one. What about buy versus rent flyers? Right? So for example, let's say you go into, I mean, do you guys know how many luxury apartment complexes are charging between
apartments?
Yeah, $2,000 and $3,000 a month for rent? These people could be buying $500,000 homes sometimes, right? So let's say you identify a neighborhood. There's one neighborhood, for example, that's right across the street from where I used to live in Sandy Springs near Chastain. It's almost $3,000 a month to live there. Okay, I mean, they do some pretty awesome stuff for you. They it's like a drop, you know, you drop your bag of laundry and boom, next day it's folded in exactly where you want it, right? But hell, if somebody gives me $3,000 a month, I'll do that too. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, Avalon also have like the $2,700 rent in Alpharetta. So
call up Kathy and say, Kathy, if I wanted to buy a home in Alpharetta with roughly 1.25% taxes, right? What's the sticker price that I could buy and still come in below $2,700 a month in payment, right? So again, I'm just coming up with a number. Let's say that number is $500,000, right? So you go in and you mail every single person in that apartment complex, hey, rather than living here, you could live here with record low interest rates. Got questions? Call me. Got questions? Tune into a Zoom, where we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about the simple pathway to home ownership and capitalizing on the lowest interest rates in history. Co-hosted and sponsored, by the way, by Shelter Home Mortgage. So if that mail out cost $300, guess who just paid for half of it? Somebody other than you. Right?
Bill, quick question. Bill, quick question.
Yeah.
Is better to do the flyers there or better to the Facebook ads in this situation to work with the apartments?
I would probably do both.
Farming and the Facebook.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great. Hey, come to my home buyer seminar. It's scheduled for the 3rd week in August, and we're going to be giving away 5 prizes. 2 of them might be $10 Starbucks card. One of them might be a, $25 movie ticket or something, and then maybe you give away like a green egg or a a Nest camera or something like that. That's kind of like home related, so to speak, right? If you could get 15 people on a call, all who can afford $500,000, would you be willing to part with a $100 green egg? I would. See what I'm saying? So what can we do to really drum up some activity? A lot of times I've talked a little bit about this idea in the past where we say that, oh, somebody just got lucky. They got lucky that they got that listing. No. They earned it. We don't get listings. We earn listings. I don't give a damn if it's your friend or your family member. If you were a schmo around your friend or your family member, they wouldn't have sent that piece of business to you. So every piece of business that you've ever gotten, you earned it. So be proud, right? So if you go in and you create a bunch of chaos, you're dusting things up and you're talking here and talking there and starting this and trying that, you're going to create a lot of chaos. And as the dust settles, they're going to come to you with their future real estate need. Does that make sense? Okay, so how else can we, so we can do Zoom sessions, right? Zoom webinars, if you will. What else?
Client events.
Events, yep. You could probably throw in business sponsorships here too. Right, networking, surprise and delight. Right. You could do some move up marketing, right? That could also be part of a farming effort, right? Where let's say you go into a neighborhood where the values, let's say, are 400 and 3 or 4 years ago, they were 325. So pretty much everyone in the neighborhood has equity and they could potentially sell in a seller's market with multiple offers and go buy a $600,000-$700,000 home where it's a buyer's market. Want to learn how to sell in the seller's market and buy in a buyer's market with record low interest rates? Call me today. Right? You got to make the offers and then they'll respond. Okay, anything else? Okay, let's move on. Let's go to confidence building. I'm going to start a couple. We're going to master scripts. Okay, we're going to master presentations. We're going to master contracts and negotiations. You are essentially claiming your primary job is helping people negotiate. Is that correct? Julian, when was the last time you read a book on negotiation?
It's been a while.
Okay, Marinelli, when was the last time you watched a video on negotiation? Jonathan, what about you? David, what about you?
3 weeks back.
How many?
3 weeks.
Okay, so not great, but you're better than the rest of everyone on the call, so congratulations.
I mean, I watch something, I guess, weekly. I watch Tom Ferry, stuff like that. Gary B. He's got an interview with the one hostage negotiator. He's got a great interview too.
Yep.
He gives a lot of tips and tricks.
I was about to throw that out there. His name is Chris Voss, V-O-S-S. He has he was basically the top U.S. hostage negotiator, right? When was the last time you studied the market? Do you print out the MMO slides and really comb through them? Can you recite some of those things? Earlier this morning, I said that the single family inventory, July 2020 versus July 2019, what percentage is it off this year? Does anyone remember?
32%.
41%. Okay. So how are you becoming a market expert so that you can have the maximum amount of confidence possible? Okay. One thing that I think probably belongs in here is time management, right? Becoming a master of time management in your calendar. So what are you studying? What are you learning to make sure that you are as efficient as humanly possible with your time? What else? You might say, hey, going to mega camp is something I want to do. Mega camp, typically, if you were to be a regular old agent and you were going to pay for mega camp, you would probably, by the time you get done buying your ticket, buying your flight, staying in a hotel for 3 or 4 nights, taking Ubers all over town, eating, drinking, and doing all the crap that we do to go to mega camp, you're probably in the hole at least $2,500, probably more actually. And I don't mean to say in the hole, by the way. I just mean you're going to spend it. Okay. So when I used to go to mega camp, I didn't spend quite as much time with the people from Roswell as I might have should have, because I was busy spending time with people that I don't see every day. So I was calling somebody that does a lot of recruiting in Phoenix and saying, hey, can I grab a cup of coffee with you while I'm out in Austin? I assume you'll be in Austin. Can we meet? Right? Okay, I'm going to meet with the team from Keller Williams Manhattan or the Keller Williams Israel or whatever that I'm involved in. I want to spend time with these people so I can expand my network. So another thing that we could do for both buyers and sellers, by the way, I'll write this here, is out of town referrals, right? Who was on the call the other day when I said I saw a class that an agent did that now he makes $300,000 a year from agent referrals. Was anyone on that call? Julian, remember, it was a script that says like this. Let's say I'm an agent in Boston, okay, and I call Julian. I look Julian up and I say, hey Julian, this is Bill Linkwald. I'm with Keller Williams in Boston. How are you today? Role play with me.
Hey, Bill, I'm doing fine, thanks.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, my friend. Just a real quick question. If I were to have a referral for your area, you work the Metro Atlanta area, is that right?
Yeah, I sure do.
If I had a referral for your area, periodically we have referrals coming down that way. Are you open to receiving referrals like that?
Oh, I would appreciate that.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So, well, listen, I don't have a referral partner in Metro Atlanta. Do you ever get referrals that come from your area up towards my area?
Yes, sure do.
Okay. And do you have a high-powered real estate agent that you send those to currently?
I do not.
Well, why don't we be referral partners?
Okay.
Would you like to be referral partners?
Yep.
So what I'd love to do is just to put you in my database, and I make a commitment to call all my referral partners once a quarter just to check in, make sure I'm doing everything I can do to help. Would it be okay if I called you once a quarter?
Absolutely. Be
Awesome.
Great.
Okay, so we're going to connect over Kelly, and next time I'm in Austin, I'll see if we can meet up at Family Reunion. Maybe one of these days we'll get to go back. And won't that be cool?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Right? So how many of those could you add to your database? What if you added one of those per day? Hell, what if you even added one of those per week? Right? Okay, so Mega Camp, by the way, is $109. You don't have to book a flight. You don't have to take off your belt and your shoes. You don't have to sleep on somebody else's bed. All you got to do is get in front of your computer and watch a bunch of videos. $109, y'all. Every single person should be at Mega Camp. Every single person. Okay. Do you think you'll learn some stuff at Mega Camp that can help you secure more buyers and more sellers before the end of the year? I agree. What else? How about previewing property? Right? What if you went and previewed 10 homes a week or 5 homes a week and you took a little video of it and you posted that on Facebook? Hey, I had an extra couple hours. I happened to be in Milton today. I stopped by this really cool coffee shop. I love this coffee shop. It's called blah, 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 blah coffee. And while I was in the area, I really wanted to see this, this home on 1.5 acres. I thought it might be a good match for one of my buyers. Take a look at this pool. Take a look at this, swim and tennis community. Take a look at this, this is a really cool hardscape they built. Right? I mean, it just can be totally random stuff that you're like just sending out to the world. And what you're doing is telling the world that you're active in the real estate community. Hey, any questions about Milton or any other areas? I'm here for you. Have a great day. Right? Okay. How can we master video? Does anyone think video is going away anytime soon? Okay, let me make sure. I want to hit this one home real good. David, do you think video is going to be in the business in 5 years?
It's probably going to be all video by then, Bill.
Oh, of course it will. I was being generous. So you're going to be the only realtor without a video strategy?
Not really.
Okay, Jonathan, what I want you to do, sir, is think long and hard about what your video strategy is going to be for the 12 months from now. Same thing with everyone on the call. If you're not using video, you're going to get lost in the shuffle. Remember, I used to have a little sign outside of my door that said, "You will not be replaced by technology. However, you will be replaced by the agent who is embracing and mastering technology." Remember that quote?
Yep.
I'll say it one more time. This is, you gotta take this to heart. You will not be replaced by technology. However, you will be replaced by the agent who is embracing and mastering technology. Okay. What is your video strategy going to be? Right. Do you need a fancy camera to take videos? Do you need a light ring? Do you need a holder for your tablet? Right? Let's get serious. These are tools of a 21st century real estate agent. Do you have a Zoom account? Please tell me you all have a Zoom account. Okay. Marinelli, if I said, hey, send me a link for your Zoom room, I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'm ready to buy $1 million home. Will you be able to send me a link?
From Michael's account, yeah.
That'll work. That'll work, whatever it takes. Just make sure that name says the appropriate name, right? These are the tools of the future. You gotta understand how it's going to be. Okay. What else? What else do you need to learn about between now and the end of the year? Might be time to brush up on your knowledge of distressed properties. Right? What's the short sale process like these days? What's the foreclosure process like these days? Is there anybody out in the field who, if I had a better, stronger relationship with them, that would make my life a little easier? Right? Do I have somebody, I was just talking to somebody about this earlier today, and we were talking about the Keller offers model. And she says, well, I don't, have a certification or whatever. And I said, that's okay. You go in there and you say, look, you got 2 ways to sell your house these days. Okay, you can sell it on the open market, and here are the statistics, and here's what's likely to happen. Okay, the other option is they have an idea called the iBuyer, Keller offers or something. Okay, Now, the idea there is you're going to sell your home for a discount. That discount is typically around 20 to 25%. And in exchange for that, you will have an incredibly efficient, quick, stress-free process. Now, we're sitting here talking about a $450,000 house. Would you be willing to exchange 90 grand for a quick process? Julian, you say no. I also would say no. Why do you think these people are still around? Because there's enough people saying yes. So if I was in a listing appointment with you and I said, Julian, I can help you in a few different ways. I can help you as a full service real estate agent. This is how that would look. And this is what your home would likely sell for on the open market. If you prefer to have no showings, no headache, and virtually no stress, and you would be willing to sell your home for 20% off of the fair market value, is that an option that would be appealing to you? And you say no, well, then you just go right back to the regular resale process. If they say, yeah, I actually would kind of consider that. I would be willing to lay down 100 grand to sell this home quickly. Great. Is there anybody on this call that would not find $500,000 if they could buy a $750,000 house or $700,000 house for 500? I bet you would. I'll buy the damn thing. See what I'm saying? So why do we have to get, I'm not saying bad things about Keller Offers, believe me, but why should they be the one to profit? If somebody's willing to take that much of a haircut, why can't I be the one to win? I'll be the iBuyer. Does anyone know investors that would be willing to do that? Let's role play that call. Julian, I got a home that all the data in the world says it's worth 500. I'll sell it to you for 400. Would you be interested? Now that's a damn good script, right? Is there anyone that would say no to that? Okay. And what happens when you explain that scenario to a prospect? They say, oh my gosh, this guy's really educating me. Okay. Just a quick sidebar. If you guys have not watched that Dave Jinks video, you're going to hear me talking a lot about it over the next couple of weeks. That should be like, you should be falling asleep to that video every night. Like it's that good. Okay. It's that good. You need to essentially memorize that whole thing. David, I'm up to like 3 times. Have I beat you yet?
Yes, I did. I listened 3 times.
Okay. All right. What else can we do to build confidence and our education in the remainder of the month, or the remainder of the year? I'm sorry.
Attending classes, I would think.
Great. I love that. Okay. All right. So let's pause right there. Now, what I want to do with you guys is I want to show you that what we do remember is we think big, as Gary Keller says. We think big and then we act small, right? So we might say, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a blow up, and I'm kind of just talking out of my head right now. But let's say every month, starting in August, I'm going to do a big Zoom promotion. There's going to be some form of a client event / seminar once a month. That's what I do. That's the standard of my business. Okay. Every week, I add 5 new agents to my out-of-town referral network and use the script that I just did. Okay. I host 2 open houses per week, 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday. Okay. Or I host I don't know, let's say 3 a month, whatever the standard is. I host 1 on a Saturday, 1 on a Sunday, and 1 on a Thursday night, something like that. That's what I do every month. That's what I do. That's my standard. I don't accept anything less than that. Okay. And you say, I'm going to do 1 surprise and delight every other day and for the rest of the year. And these are some ideas that I'm going to use. Remember, you can use the same idea over and over again. You're just surprising and delighting in somebody else. Okay. And you say, I'm going to attend mega camp, and every month I'm going to spend a little bit of cash let's say $50 to $100 on learning something. What can I learn to help my mindset? What can I learn to help my language? What can I learn to help my habits and my attitude and my energy, right? And that way I'm going to become the type of person I need to become to hit the goals that I need to hit. Make sense? So I'm not asking you to do every single one of these, but pick one or two from each group and say, hey, I'm going to kill out-of-town referrals. I'm going to kill open houses. And I'm going to be the freaking best FSBO guy that's ever walked the planet. Okay? Expireds, you can call expireds. I'm a FSBO guy. I'm just saying, don't try to master everything. Just get really freaking good at one thing. Okay? So you can take this list and say, all right, well, I'm going to go after people that I'm going to do the new construction videos, or I'm going to do the I'm going to work on some refinancing scripts and call everyone I know. I'm going to go and find somebody to build the best damn Facebook ads ever. And I'm going to pay them handsomely so they do a great job for me. And I'm going to parlay that into some closings. And meanwhile, the attitude you have over this entire experience is, hang on just 1 second for me, okay?
Bill's on another cookie break.
Sorry. The kids know how to use the Alexa to call, and she called like 3 times in a row, but it shows up as my wife's number, so I was trying to make sure there wasn't a emergency.
How is Alexa?
Sometimes she's good, sometimes she's a pain. You know, sometimes she understands what I'm trying to say, sometimes she doesn't. So what I want you to do is let's really, really focus on just a couple of these strategies and build systems and standards. I'm going to read you a quote. Okay. I want you to think about this every single day, okay? We don't rise to our goals, we fall to our standards. Okay? We don't rise to our goals, we fall to our systems. Okay? So if you don't have systems and standards set up for your business, just about anything goes. And when anything goes, you're probably not going to hit your goals. Okay. Now, when we adopt a couple of these tasks, the next thing that we want to do, I'll share my screen again. Hang on. The next thing that we want to do is we want to put some numbers to them. So anyone that's built a GPS with me or 135 with me knows that hosting open houses is not good enough. I want to know when they're going to happen, how many they're going to be, because I need to be able to check that thing off my list. Did I do it? Yes or no? Okay. If my goal is to quote, lose weight, and I lose 1 pound, did I hit my goal? Yeah, I lost weight. So I told my brain that I just needed to lose 1 pound and then I could claim that I lost weight. When in fact, there's no way that was my goal, right? So how do I know you're successful? Did you mark off that one event or that one Zoom webinar or whatever once a month? Did I in fact add, let's say you want to triple your number. I don't know, let's say you want to do 60 or you want to do 20 closings. So 60 people in your pipeline, you currently have 10. So that means you need to add 10 people to your pipeline every month. Okay, the month of August finishes up. Did you add your 10? Or did you not add your 10? You got to be able to check it off or not check it off. Because if you check it off, the world's great. You're building confidence. Your brain's, you you're executing on what you told your brain you wanted to do, right? Everyone is happy. Or you need to say, well, damn, I only added 3 because I had a bunch of distractions in my life. So let me call my coach, refine my plan, and identify what hours that I used to not work that I'm going to have to work now so that I can hit my goals. Does that make sense? So I'm going to ask each of you to look at this type of list, and I'll send this out to you guys. I'm probably going to use this in the future too, for everybody. But I want you to try to identify at least, I'm going to say at least 1, but probably more like 2 to 3 in each of these categories that you're going to focus on, and most everything else is a distraction. Okay. And these are the ways that I'm going to go and approach the market to try to secure adding people to my pipeline, because I've been in the business for a long time. There are plenty of days that I've walked down into my office and I've had a pipeline that makes me smile and get nervous all at the same time. And I've had days where I've walked down, I'm like, am I ever going to get paid again? Right? Which one do you think is better? Option number 1?
Yeah, number 1.
Okay. You ever heard the line that just about every problem in real estate can be fixed by having more leads? Right? You got a client that's disrespectful, never shows up on time, is a bigot, doesn't listen to anything you say. If he's your only client, you put up with it. If you've got 25 other clients that want your time, you're like, hey, this ain't working, bud. Have a nice life. And you go focus on some of the other ones that are more respectful and more reasonable, right? So if you got more leads, everything falls into place. Make sense? Okay, talk to me. Was this helpful? Did you guys learn something? Did this give you some ideas? Was this a giant waste of time? Talk to me.
No, this is perfect.
Very, yeah, got it.
Very informative.
Okay, good. Success is simple. It's just not easy, right? It's simple. I need more sellers. What 3 techniques am I going to use to find more sellers? That's the easy part. Or let me rephrase that. That's the simple part. Then the actual logistics of setting up a system and standards and metrics and accountability around those, that's a different story. Now, what do you think would help ensure that when you pick them, you put metrics to them and you say, cool, this is my plan, I'll start tomorrow. What do you think is probably the single most important thing you can do to ensure that this plan goes through successfully?
Get it on your calendar.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I would venture to say another one is telling a peer about it and asking them to support your vision, and then you offering to support theirs, right? So you huddle a couple times a week and say, hey, you doing all right? You got any good ideas lately? What are you doing really well? When was the last time you spent money and you were like, damn, that was a good way to spend money? When was the last time you spent money and you were like, damn, that was a horrible way to spend money? Right? What can I share with you that might help you in your business? Does that make sense?
IRS is a terrible way to spend money.
Well, I agree. So go find your friends that are appear to be financially successful and say, hey, I just wrote a big freaking check to the IRS and I was curious, who's your CPA? Learn any new tax strategies that I could maybe benefit from? Would you like to introduce me to your CPA? Because I don't like paying taxes that much. Right? Why do you think Trump doesn't want to show his taxes to anybody? It's not a shocker. He's not paying taxes because he's got a bunch of people on his team to make sure he doesn't pay taxes. Whether it's legal or not, I don't know. But I mean, if you're stumped on that one, you're not even paying attention. He's not paying taxes. Make sense? All right.
Yes.
I'm not going political. I learned that lesson a long time ago. Right when I said I do. All right. I wish you'd come off of mute so I could hear a laugh every once in a while. Are we having fun?
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful, y'all. I'll send this message out to you guys. I'll send the sheet out, to you guys. Let me just write down who was here. Thank you for coming. I'm glad this was helpful. And what I want you to do is look through this list and brainstorm and start seeing if there is anything that you are willing to go all in on. We need to build up that pipeline. There's no other way to do it, y'all. Every time I've ever had a closing, it was preceded by an appointment. And every time I ever had an appointment, it was preceded by the guy's name showing up on the pipeline. Okay, that's where you got to start. All right, see you soon.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you.